so between himself and Jaxson Hayes, they'll likely be competing for backup center minutes. And with the two of them being very different players on the court, Hayes being more of a traditional big man that's a good lob threat, a decent rim protector, and a good rim runner, Kleber being more of a modern day big that can be a power forward center hybrid, sometimes can play at the 4, sometimes can play at the 5, is more of a 3-point shooting floor spacing big man that offers some switchability on defense. So they're kind of polar opposites, but nonetheless will be competing for playing time in some matchups. Now on the flip side of that, I think they could play together at times on the court. Obviously they can with DeAndre Ayton, all three of them can play together, but when Ayton's off the court, those two might be able to share playing time, but then again you have to factor in again LeBron playing at power forward, Rui Hachimura playing at power forward, so it might be difficult to pair those two on the court, and another heavy rotation member as well. So again, likely will be a pretty good competition between them. And with that in mind here, we're going to talk about what that competition might look like, what it'll take for one of them to take the upper hand in the matchup, what JJ Redick likely is and will be looking for from them, and how they might be able to stand out throughout training camp. So we're going to talk about that and try to break it all down here. And well, beginning with the most important factor in my opinion, that's simply being durability. Obviously something we have to factor in with Maxi Kleber. After all, he unfortunately only played 34 games last regular season, none of which came with the Lakers, and again only 5 total minutes of postseason time with their team. So that's obviously a big factor with him. Between last season playing only 34 games, only 43 during the 2023-24 NBA season, only 37 dating back in the 2022-23 NBA season, so it's obviously a major concern with him. Can they even rely on him to be a rotation player for their team? Is it maybe the better bet to go with Hayes so they don't have to deal with injury risk with Maxi Kleber? That's something you might be able to point to and maybe factor into your argument if you're pushing for more Hayes playing time. However, I think they will overlook that if he can offer them something on the court, which he definitely is able to do. Like I said, him and Hayes are two very different players and have two very different skill sets. Kleber being the more modern day big man that offers more 3-point shooting ability, and at this current moment they don't have a big man that can offer that reliably. I talked about Christian Koloko maybe trying to add that to his game, but at this point it's not a reliable option for him and he's not a reliable 3-point shooting threat, but Maxi Kleber is. Throughout his 8 years in the NBA, Kleber has been a 35.4% career 3-point shooter. Not incredible, but pretty good for a power forward center hybrid, taking over 3 of them per game in only 22 minutes per game, fairly high volume shooting for a big, that translating to 5.1 attempts per 36 minutes, and the even better part of that is a bunch of those attempts came with Luka Doncic directly passing him the ball. That's another big pro for Maxi Kleber here, something to point to with his past history and past chemistry on the court with Luka Doncic, those two playing the pick and roll game and pick and pop game together, Luka knowing where to get Kleber the ball on the court, knowing how to play together and how to play off each other. That's something that definitely could help out Maxi Kleber here. And well, not only with Luka Doncic, but definitely LeBron James too. Between both Luka and LeBron, they really do value floor spacing, obviously. That helps them get to the rim easier, get their shot easier, and really expand the floor to their liking. Helps them to create plays in the court, and Maxi Kleber definitely can offer more than that compared to either one of Jaxson Hayes or DeAndre Ayton. Pointing to the Lakers' best lineup last season, it was a small ball lineup, including both LeBron James, Luka Doncic, then with Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura, sporting a plus 18.6 net rating, an offensive rating of 124.9, a defensive rating of 106.3, spending a total of 108 minutes together, and again, obviously pointing to the floor spacing ability, the versatility on both ends of the court, and while Maxi Kleber is obviously not Dorian Finney-Smith, he might be able to offer a little bit of that on the court. However, like I said, that's all dependent on Kleber staying healthy and getting back to the player that he was prior to getting hurt, which is definitely not a guarantee for him. And if he can't do that, then this would be an opportunity for Hayes to get more playing time, probably maintaining his 15 to 20 minutes per game, only slightly less than he got in their starting lineup, and if he could get that and Kleber doesn't get back to the player that he was and therefore is not a big rotation player for them, that's something that Hayes could take advantage of. And while I know that not many fans like Hayes or really weren't happy with him last season, I'm not sure exactly why, as he played pretty well post-trade deadline. The unfortunate part was that he didn't play much and didn't play that well in limited playing time during the postseason, which wasn't entirely his fault in my opinion, but he definitely could be a very viable backup center option for their team, especially in certain matchups. I mean, we're talking about a guy that when he was in the team starting lineup, the Lakers went 26-9 throughout that time frame, one of the best in the entire NBA post-trade deadline. And well, throughout the 35 games that he did start in, Hayes averaged roughly 8 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists per game, roughly 1 block per game, shooting a team-high 72.9% from the field. Very efficient, very effective despite being pretty much only a dump-off guy and lob threat around the rim. Was a reliable option for them, barely missing any time due to injury. Was very effective both pre-trade deadline and post-trade deadline with Luka Doncic. And he definitely was deserving of being brought back to their team and to be looked at to be a rotation player for their team next season. Really no debate about it in my opinion. And well, for Jaxson Hayes, that's kind of what he will be relying on to not only maintain that, but even improve upon what he did last season, especially post-trade deadline, continuing to be very efficient, trying to and likely being their leader in field goal percentage again. You know, he definitely will have more competition with that with DeAndre Ayton, whether you're talking about efficiency at the rim, being a lob threat, pick and roll partner with Luka Doncic. Definitely will have more competition, but he showed to be very efficient last season. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.